what you mean.
Because that's why it's hard for him to agree or disagree, because it depends on the situation, I think.
Depends on the situation, though. Like, could he have agreed? Could he have disagreed on
the other podcast? Like, genuinely believe that? I feel like if he believed that this other woman was being serious about that car comment, I feel like that he could have agreed with it. But also, he did say they laughed about it afterwards, so maybe it was more just a joking thing. But at the end of the day, like you said, he didn't fully disagree with the fact of what she was saying.
What he was saying. So that's why I was just like,
But I feel like more context is needed.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, with understanding something.
And she was on OnlyFans. And then 20 minutes later, when she said she was on OnlyFans, I said, well, you're selling your body, that belongs to him because he's your man. And she laughed, and she said, yeah, that's probably true. If you watch the show, it will make sense. For you to come here with doing no research at all, and then say, I don't understand what I'm talking about, but I've got this piece of paper with a few things printed off, that's why you're saying the silly things you're saying. You should watch the show, do some research.
Do you believe it?
I've already answered the question.
Not really.
Of course I have. Let me move on. I've answered the question.
Do you believe that a woman's intimate parts belong to her male partner?
Of course not. I've just answered the question.
Yeah, we've done that 3 times.
And does this woman believe that her man's car belongs to her? It's not a gendered argument.
Yeah, I think I'm right.
Really think that.
I feel like he definitely does believe it in a little bit, depending on the situation. Because when he says a comment like, well, does she believe that the man's car belongs to her? I feel like that's saying like, hey, you know,
he's not agreeing to it like up front, but he's like he kind of puts in a in that context like that he might agree with it.
And I honestly kind of agree with that point too.
What do you mean?
In a way, because like it's again like you said, it's not a gender thing, right? If you have a man and a woman, and these two people are their own people, they do their own thing, they have their own money, then that statement is incorrect. Because why would a man have any right to any cut of what the woman makes from her body from OnlyFans if it's not like a relationship thing where they both do that? Now, if one of the parties believe that what the other person has is theirs, if one of the things that person happens to have is OnlyFans, then that falls into the category of sharing what that would be.
Sharing that,
like if you have a relationship,
sharing that stuff.
Like, if you have a relationship where these two people are more in the sense where it's like, oh, you know, my man's car is mine, or it's like, oh, you know, maybe my woman is a very successful business person and they have a really nice car. Same vice versa, right? Oh, you know, my woman's car is mine. If what happens, maybe it's not a car, and like you said, maybe it's money from OnlyFans, and if it happens to be money from OnlyFans, then it's like, hey, if you have rights to my car, then I should have rights to the money that you have from your body.
So like, yeah, okay, no, I'm understanding. So like,
it's not just OnlyFans,
but he's probably, in a sense, he could be agreeing to what she's saying, like from a different standpoint.
But going there and sitting it would make him look bad.
Yeah,
and just saying yes, I agree.
I agree with that.
But you can also tell that he's irritated because he has answered the question in a sense, and she has gone out of it multiple times after he already answered the question.
Yeah, it is annoying. Yeah, like
it's genuinely sad that when the BBC has a chance to finally interview me at the end of all this Matrix stuff, that they don't come here with any kind of genuine openness to try and understand my influence of the world, or the things I push, or what I'm trying to teach the world, or why I'm a good influence on the world, because I am a massively good influence. Instead, they come here with pieces of paper, with printed out excerpts from 5-year-old podcasts, taken out of context, to attempt the same Matrix attack on me, which has been attempted endlessly. Every single person in legacy media has already tried this, and it doesn't work. I really encourage you to read the comment section on YouTube when this goes on YouTube, and you'll see that nobody believes a word you're saying.
The reason I'm asking you about these comments is because we've got the chief executive of Rape Crisis naming you individually as spreading a dangerous ideology of misogynistic rape culture.
Absolute.
It's the comments you make that are leading people to say things like
absolute
this.
Garbage.
National organisations who are saying that are blaming you for increasing levels of misogyny. Schools that are saying they are having increased incidents of girls being attacked, of female teachers being harassed.
If that was
by
true,
pupils, because of you and your teaching.
Well, that's absolute garbage. I have never, ever encouraged a student to attack a teacher, male or female, ever. I preach hard work, discipline. I'm an athlete. I preach anti-drug. I preach religion. I preach no alcohol. I preach no knife crime. Every single problem with modern society, I'm against. I'm teaching young men to be disciplined, to be diligent, to listen, to train, to work hard, to be exactly like me, with no criminal record, never even yet charged in this 14-month Matrix investigation. And I'm saying that if men grew up like me, which are hardworking and diligent and emotional control and stoic, we're going to have a better society, not a worse society. To sit here and say that schools in England, which is a failing nation, which has knife crime going through the roof, violence going through the roof, men's mental health going through the roof, and they're going to all blame me because I appeared on the internet 1 year ago, is disingenuous. It's disingenuous. And also,
financial success
correct.
with a Bugatti and a cigar, but it comes with a side order of misogyny.
All right, before they keep going, do you want to say something about that?
He just called a whole nation failing.
I mean, I feel like you can call a country failing. I mean,
you could call him. I could call America sometimes failing.
You know, if he is correct about those things that he's saying, where it's like men's mental health is going through the roof, you know, like crime. Okay, we know crime over there is going through the roof.
Yeah,
that's for sure. You know, in a sense, you can say there's a failing society because those are trends that would go hand in hand with that. You know, because you would think in a good society, you know, crime would slowly get less and less, and in a good society, people would be happier, right? Mm-hmm. Have less negative thoughts and stuff like that. So
but like,
if he's saying it's true,
are you saying it's right for? So like, say it is a functional country who says something like that. Is it right for like, for it to be as I don't know what I'm trying to say anymore. I kind of lost the thought.
Okay, well, I'll say this.
Okay.
With these issues in England or whatever, these issues that they're talking about, right? They're big issues, and if your society is doing worse, I feel like the very last thing you should do is go out and say Andrew Tate is the reason why this is all happening, right? Instead of actually trying to do something to fix those issues. You know?
Yeah.
Because I'm sorry,
but do you feel like they're going out of their way to just say Andrew Tate's the problem?
Even if, at the end of the day, Andrew Tate is a very bad influence to whatever. Like, hypothetically, let's say he was spreading bad stuff.
Yeah.
Is it still even okay for this country to go out and say that when there's other stuff they could be doing? Unless he was like a million-member cult leader and he was like getting them to go do bad stuff all over the country, right?
Yeah.
But he just puts stuff online, and it's up to people if they decide to follow through with that or not, right? Whether that's good or bad, whether that's... I'm not even talking about Andrew Tate anymore, I'm talking about anybody. Whether someone goes out online and puts good or bad stuff, right? Yeah. Isn't there better things that a country could be doing to try to fix their issues than, say, blame it on whatever kind of media?
Blame it on that one person?
Why not educate your students and kids or your members of society better on how to take information like that and how to process it and how to turn it into something productive for yourself? Mm-hmm. Why not teach these people to not mindlessly follow stuff that they see online in a 5-second video? Or to agree with the point that they just randomly see online. Like, why don't we teach kids that instead of just blame some random person on the internet for all of your country's issues?
Could you... Okay. So, in a sense, I like to see it in a view where, like, this is a whole country, in a sense. Like, how many people agreed onto this statement? Like, for them to say that,
like to come out and say Andrew Tate is like a
you know what I mean, like that is a whole country. It is a whole country, and they have entire like systems going through it. So like how could they possibly say that just mindlessly? You know what I mean? Like I don't think they would come out to the public and just say Andrew Tate is the cause of every single problem there is on this world for our youth. Like I don't think they're coming out to just saying that like kind of mindlessly. There's no way. There's no possible.
You wouldn't believe it?
I can't fathom it, if anything. I can't fathom in it.
I don't know the specifics behind it, but at the end of the day, even if like sit here and say he is, right? Although I believe he isn't, I believe he actually is a good for the world. Right? If he even is a bad thing, does that take away from the fact that the country shouldn't be doing that? Like, I think that's just a wrong from the country no matter how the situation is. I can understand, like, if your country's coming out and saying, we need to get rid of Hitler because this guy's, like, going around trying to kill a bunch of people. That's not what he's doing. He goes out and he tries to teach young men how to be better men in society. And if people take certain things that he says out of context and people believe that and do bad things,
so okay.
Does that outweigh what he's doing?
Adam, I feel like you have put out the same statement.
Sorry.
I
have said that.
Yes, you have said that before, because it's in a sense like, yes, Adam, like they're probably taking it out of context, but it's like, are they always taking it out of context? That's what I'm trying to ask you. Like, are they always taking it out of context? There's no way that they're just watching a YouTube short and just finding that.
And just saying that.
That's what I'm trying to say to you. Like, there's no way out of a million people, or whoever made that statement. Like, there's no way out of all of them that not one of them listened to a 4-hour podcast.
And you can't fathom the fact that a government would go out and make a decision like that without proper information.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Right.
That's what I'm trying to say. Like, there's no way they just 4 minutes like there's no way that they just saw that like a little clip and was like about it. Like, there had to have been something else too.
Okay.
That's all I'm trying to say.
Then I'll move into a different kind of viewpoint for where you're at right now. We'll start off with this. So,
wait. Before you start, my bad. It's just like, but if that is government leaders only saying that, sometimes I can't even trust my own government leaders.
Yeah, but it depends like how many people back that.
That's what I'm saying.
We don't know that, but here's what I will tell you from maybe where they're coming from with this. Andrew Tate was banned off of all platforms, basically. You know that, correct? When these platforms ban Andrew Tate off their thing, right? Is it always coming from a situation where it's like he's a really bad influence, we need to get him off? Or can it also come from a situation where, hey, if we keep him on our platform, that could look bad for our image, and especially since he is spreading content on our platform, whether that's good or bad. If everyone else in the world, and there's this huge wagon of people saying, hey, he's bad, and if you agree with his points, then you're a fucked up man, and you need to, not be in this world. Like, if everyone is saying that about him, whether it's true or not, you as a corporation would want to be like, hey, this guy needs to go. Even if he's doing good things.
Yeah.
Right? So now, if a corporation...
Because if everybody else is doing it, yeah.
Yeah. Now, if a corporation is willing to do that, let's shift that into the government sense. He lives in this UK, England area, right? And at the end of the day, the eyes are on the government in this situation, because he is under your dictation, right? And he is a member of your society. So can they sit around and do nothing about it if everyone else is saying these bad things?
If everybody
so
else is
would they feel an urge to push something out there where it's like, you know what? We'll just agree with everyone else. He is a bad person.
You sure you didn't come into
into
my house and just like, no way that just appeared in your mind and you're like, oh yeah, what about this viewpoint? Why the hell are you not in debate class? Like, what the hell is this?
I wish we offered a debate class.
There is. Cool. There is debate. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I might. Do you have any CTC class?
We'll talk about this.
Okay, sorry.
Later. Yeah, but no, wait, hold on.
My bad.
But thank you. But no, there's the thing about my argument here is some of it I have thought about before and it just comes back. But a lot of this stuff that I'm saying, I already knew about the organization. I just had never tied it to government. But now you bring it up, I can tie it to that as well. And I just. Again, nothing I say could be for sure facts, because here we are, to high school students, right? And we haven't done our full research on this. But it's just something to think about, right?
Yeah, because it does get me, it is making me think about, people do that. But, I was thinking while you were speaking, I was, thinking about, what about Twitter? Owned by someone like Elon Musk, who was saying, I'm not too sure or too positive, but he was saying, bringing back Donald Trump to
he did.
Yeah, he did.
Right?
Okay, bringing back Donald Trump to Twitter, and there's a lot of people in a sense who don't agree with what Trump says and things like that sometimes, and so it's couldn't he have brought in Andrew Tate as well back onto that platform? He did.
Well, I think the idea about this is Elon Musk was pushing for a source where you didn't have to face that cancel culture, and you had an opportunity to, no matter what you were saying, have a viewpoint to speak.
Yeah.
And I think that's really important in the world, because that goes back into some of the topics that we've touched on in previous podcasts, where it's do we want to live in a world where we can just censor whatever we want, and then only live with a certain push media from whether higher ups or government or whatever that is, right? Whoever controls that kind of stuff. Like, do we want a world like that, or would we rather have a world where anyone can speak their mind, whether that stuff they have to say is viewed as bad or good?
Okay. That was a good point.
You know, and everyone has different opinions, because at the end of the day, you can't really argue with someone about that point and say a correct yes or no, because it is an opinion on how you think society should be ran.
So what do you think?
Well, I think it is more important for everyone to have a voice.
You think it's important to have a voice?
Because otherwise, then, you know, it gets rid of a lot.
Even if that person, I'm not saying that he's like we don't know that if Andrew Tate is like a terrible person.
But if this hypothetical
it's
person,
like if say a person is like a really bad person, like this person, say it was like Hitler, he was on Twitter
and they had a voice.
It had a voice to be like saying all the like I forgot the term about like what like the bad like doing bad things to like Jewish people, but doing those things, like imagine like. Would it be right for him to still be on a platform and still speaking all of that? Do you feel like it's okay for him to have a voice?
Well, we've agreed in the past that there is not all good in the world, right?
Of course, yes.
And obviously, you're going to have a bunch of people speaking a lot of good things, but with that's going to come people speaking a lot of bad things. And I feel like no matter who it is, we have no right to go ahead and silence any of those people. Because what they have to say can give us many different interpretations on the world. I can understand that this could have a big impact on certain things, but I feel like it is important things to work on, because the only other option to that is just to be ignorant about it.
But say it brings like him posting all about that and him actually like making points. People start being like, I kind of like what he's doing, and so like they join the Nazis. Say he started from the ground up from like Twitter. Or, like I know this is such a radical like statement. Say he started from the ground up from Twitter. So
Hitler real lives, and he's on Twitter and he's spreading these bad ideas, and people are like, let's jump on this, right?
It groups in those people who were hidden as Nazis, and now they're coming back because they have their leader back in. They have their leader who shares their mindset.
Okay, well then I guess we'll shift this in this.
So like, would it be right for him to still stay on a platform where he's going to cause harm to others?
Although I don't really think it's right, my question is, who would be the one to get him off? Who is the silencer?
And would it be Elon?
You know what I mean? Like, is it Elon? Is it government? And at that point, do those people have too much power in our society? Should anyone in this world have their right to pick and choose on who should be able to speak and not speak? Don't get me wrong. I feel like when I say, oh, Hitler should have a voice so he can tell a bunch of people to be Nazis.
Yeah.
Like I'm not saying that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying I feel like if you pick and choose, like who has that right to pick and choose? And
who has
do they have a right to silence all these people, even if it is really bad?
I think they do. I personally think whoever it is that they have the right when they're going to cause harm to others.
But
when they're gonna cause harm to like how many people died? How many people died in the Holocaust? Millions. If they're gonna cause that detrimental harm,
I think that.
You think there's I
think in the long term, that is a bad solution.
Okay.
Just silencing.
Because
at the end of the day, there'll always be another person saying bad stuff.
Yeah.
And eventually, that person saying bad stuff will find an outlet to speak. And eventually, they'll find people to follow and agree with what they're saying.
But if it's on a platform,
right? So, I feel like the real thing that needs to be done is what I was saying earlier, and is we need to inform people the correct thing to do.
To do their own
and
research,
how to find,
do their own things.
And how to teach people how to be a good member of society. Not what we think is a good member of society, but to allow people to create their own definition of that and create their own value. You know?
So, we're not even watching this video anymore. Like, I at a point in time, like, I feel like it's just gonna be very common to, like, what they're about to say. Like, about, like, she says this radical question, and he's like, he's, like, defending his case. I feel like it's about to, like, if I click to a random point, remember 1948, if I click right here.
No, don't do that, actually.
1948.
I know, but I don't want to skip ahead.
No, I'm just...
I get what you're saying, but, like, I want
You want to watch it?
Yeah.
Okay.
1948.
I'm just saying, like, it's like... Actually, do I even remember what I was saying? I'm just saying, like, if that person is. Oh, okay, no, I do remember. So, like, say, like, in American history, like, or just worldwide history, like, history class, that they present these two people without presenting, like, who's good or bad. Like, you want the person to form their own opinion about, like, what happened. They form their own opinion about what happened and what they did, and the person can be like, oh, this person's so cool, but they truly brought, like, just murder.
I mean, I feel like it's important to not just let anyone go crazy with, like, any idea.
But that's what you're saying.
I feel like they should have an outlet to learn about that kind of stuff if they want to.
Okay, so you're saying that they should if they want to, but it's not. But like, say you learn that in school.
Society needs to reinforce. Here's what society does nowadays: they just block out that bad information, and then when people find that bad information, which the bad people will eventually do, they do bad stuff with that. But I feel like it's more important just have it open, and instead of worrying so much about blocking out this information and censoring stuff, leave it open, and then just teach people how to actually intake this information properly, and teach people on how to do well in society.
So,
you know?
But like, how, if you're teaching someone to intake this information properly, what would you even be teaching them? Like, you're teaching them, have your free opinion, take it, understand and do your research, but form your own opinion about that. Mm-hmm. That's practically what you're saying. So don't tell this person that this person's either good or not. Don't enforce an opinion about what you're teaching, but just.
I feel like it's important when you talk about, like, if this was a setting that we're in, like, let's say you're talking about Hitler, you're not just going to go and say all the good things Hitler did, right? Yeah. You're going to talk about it all, and you're going to talk about all the pain that he brought around people. We're going to talk about the impacts. Like, for this kind of style to work, you need to give all sides of every story.
Yeah.
Which is a lot harder, because now you need people in society that are willing to do the hard stuff instead of the easy stuff.
And we do not have those people.
That is why we're not in a perfect society, because to be in a perfect society, we would have to be in a position where everyone would be willing to
do their own information, do their own research.
Yes.
So what I'm saying, in our society, in the society that we have, mm-hmm. do you still think it's right to have this free, like, what the idea that you were trying to bring?
Like, anyone can speak?
Anybody can, well, not anybody can speak, but have your own outlet, have your own opinion, and, well, yes, you can have your own opinion, but I'm saying, like,
no censorship kind of thing.
No censorship, yeah.
I think so, because I
feel like... You still think it's okay?
I think in the long run, that's what we need to go for. And until we start making steps into that direction and figuring out how to deal with those issues... We're just going to stay in this position of doing what we're going to do, and we'll never grow.
Okay, I understand.
You know, I'm not saying, like, I understand there's a real world out there, and I understand there's realistic things to this, and I'm not saying that it would be all good, but I feel like in the long run, for us to really thrive, and if we ever want to reach that perfect society where, you know, maybe we're all...
Where nothing is taboo to talk about.
You know what I mean? Yeah, like, where people can just express ideas and, you know, not, like, be themselves and not have to feel confined into a certain area. I feel like that's what we should go for. And we should try to make movements into that.
Yeah. Okay. I see it, but I feel like, I really do feel like that would bring so much, like, pain and harm. Mm-hmm. In a sense, like...
If you gave that to everybody right now in their current teaching, it'd be so bad.
That's what I'm saying.
I think we need to teach people
should just like slowly bring it into mm-hmm. like society, especially like I say it really begins like young, mm-hmm. like it begins young.
There is a conspiracy theory out there that I'm not saying I agree with this,
okay,
but I'm just saying this is out there that we're actually trying to currently reach that society.
To reach what society?
That kind of perfect area where people can say what they want, but we're like, actually, I'm not. That is a crazy conspiracy theory to talk about. We're trying to depopulize, right? And so
depopulize.
It's a conspiracy theory that we're trying to like depopulize, like less people in the world, and
Okay.
they're trying to give outlets to people, trying to get rid of people that
Okay.
wouldn't be willing to put that work in, and so they're giving.
Oh my
They're,
god.
they're giving these people sources like TikTok and whatnot, so they just mindlessly do this all day.
Oh, so like
and then eventually the only people that will make it and be rich and smart and whatnot are people that are willing to put hard work in.
that's a crazy
right. And then from there you'll kind of depopulize, and the only people that are left are the people that are willing to hard work.
Yeah,
and
who are on the
can,
top.
They can properly teach their kids how to live life and how to be good for the society and whatnot. It's a conspiracy theory.
That's actually
but
crazy. I mean,
that does sound. There is some valid things to that, you know.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that like. I wouldn't say that TikTok was brought out for that reason. I wouldn't say at all. I feel like it really was just for enjoyment, because I mean I use it for. I was using it for a haul. I made a TikTok about me doing
just TikTok, you know. Like there's good tools for that kind of stuff, but at the end of the day, people that are just gonna keep consuming, they're not.
Yeah, you just filter them out.
They're always gonna want more. Always gonna want more. They're gonna
Yeah.
keep searching for higher dopamine, and it's gonna get to the point where it's just like they just want enjoyment.
They're a zombie,
and we're gonna keep giving them that enjoyment,
and they're
never gonna do anything.
Yeah, like they can't satisfy it themselves anymore because it's just that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Holy crap! I think we got.
We're gonna pause here. This is gonna probably be the end of part one because we got a lot of good talks.
1948.
We gotta start getting out of here.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got halfway through perfectly, and then whenever we meet up again, you know, we'll obviously do part 2 of this reaction. I think there was a lot of cool things that we talked about. You know, thank you for anyone.
Andrew Tate, my man.
My man.
Who's this? Spartan? Okay.
Well, thank you for anyone that stopped in.
Yes, thank you.
You go ahead. You can say what you gotta say.
Yeah. Thank you for joining. Again, this is gonna be on just about anything besides like Apple stuff, because I rarely use any Apple stuff. Well, I do, but I don't ever post anything onto there. Oh, wait. That was.
It was just that one. Yeah, we already said that.
Okay. But he did. Okay, but anyways, yeah. I mean, I'm glad to have this with you. Talk in the sense, because I mean, man. That was a lot. That was a lot to talk about. I'm glad that you kind of ended it now, because I feel like I couldn't even handle it.
Like, yeah, this is a good stopping point.
Like my brain gets overloaded with some of this stuff. Do you? Or I feel like you can keep going.
I mean, I
feel like you can talk about this for 12 hours.
It's nice to settle and like just think about kind of some of this stuff.
Yeah.
I will say, for anyone watching this on YouTube or whatever, if you do kind of enjoy this content, we'd really appreciate it. If you leave a sub, there'll be more of this to come.
For sure.
And there's no filter here. You know,
yeah,
we love to talk. We love to talk.
We love to talk about whatever. I do give like a random opinion sometimes. I feel like Adam is a great the one that really leads it all, because like while doing this, I take in what you're talking about, and it's like you seem very open-minded about everything about this all. Like you seem very how would I put it? Like very. There's no one idea in your mind. There's no one like opinion in your mind. Like there is, but it's like you can understand both sides in a very, very well aspect, and it's good. You push it though. Like just how Nui was saying, like you kind of push the idea.
But how can I think like this and not push it?
No, that's
you know what I mean. Like I think I have to give this to other people.
Like to try to get that type of mindset.
Yeah, because I think that's better for the world.
I mean, if that's your ideal, then yes. I think sometimes it is adamant to have your own opinion sometimes, because I felt like sometimes I was just like, I want you to agree, I wanted to just be like, shut up.
I always have something
please
to
just
say,
agree.
you know?
Please just agree. Like dang. Like I don't feel like I'll be like, oh, I agree with that statement. Like no, I didn't hear that. I heard, but
you know, I have this to say.
Yes,
you know?
that's what I heard. But it's like he says, I love no filter.
But being able to talk about this kind of stuff with no like worries or consequences or worry about this kind of stuff, I feel like that is what we should strive for.
And if that's your message, Adam, then that's your message. I'm kind of just here and to fulfill my life purposes.
Yeah.
No, yeah. I'm just joking.
Well, I think my life purpose is to spread.
I feel like I could work with you in that sense, but I in a different sense, I have a different goal that I don't like to talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah. But okay.
All right.
Hey, all right.
All right. Thank you so much for anyone tuning in on the live stream, or if you're listening to the podcast, if you're watching the YouTube video. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir.
And that's about it. We will have part 2, or maybe we'll split this into 4 parts because we just talked for an hour and a half about this.
Yeah, we barely even got halfway.
No matter what part this is, we'll be back.
Mm-hmm.
And thank you so much for listening.
Yes. All right. Peace.